Welcome back, folks. Sheepdog Smokey here, and this one, I heard it when I was headed to dinner with my parents tonight, last night for you, but it is very poignant and very much what a lot of people have been saying for going on 4 years now. Uh, he was interviewing Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, who is officially now still running for president. She's still trying to become the Democratic nominee, but we've seen the DNC move multiple times to exclude her from debates and other events. And they seem to ignore their own mantra and their own consistent ranting when they do these things. But before we begin, please remember to subscribe, turn on notifications, so that you can be aware of all new content as it posts. I'm doing the giveaway. It's actually changed just a bit. At 500 subscribers, it's still one book. You have a choice of 1984, Brave New World, or Fahrenheit 451. At 1,000, you have a choice of two of those. At 1,500, it will be one of each of those. But let's go on and get back into this. In 2016, it was all about Hillary. Everybody but Fox News, and even them to a point, it was all about how it was time for a female president. But it was apparently only time for one female on the planet, and that was the ordained Hillary Clinton. When she lost, of course, in addition to crying over the Electoral College versus popular vote, which has been cried about for decades, and every time we point out, get 33 states or 34 states to call a convention, and pass that amendment, or two-thirds of both houses of Congress, then get three-quarters, 38 states to ratify. It won't ever happen, so they continue crying. But it was also about it was her turn. No one has a turn at presidency, but for Hillary Clinton, she did in her own mind, simply because she's female. Now, 2020 comes along, and you have Harris, Warren, and Gabbard all running for president. Harris and Warren have now officially dropped out. Oh, and Senator Klobuchar. Don't mean to leave her out. But those have all dropped out, all but Tulsi Gabbard. And MSLSD, Clinton News Network, and every other liberal network is just bemoaning the fact that why is it down to old white men? And they never will admit that it's because, one, the Republican women don't want the job. I have said for some time that I think Dr. Condoleezza Rice should run. I know she is not conservative in the way I am conservative, but she's definitely not a liberal. But they would attack her just the way they've attacked Ben Carson on race, and they would attack her further on gender, saying she doesn't represent women because she's not a Democrat. But with Klobuchar, Warren, and Harris out of the race, they're now bemoaning that they're down to two men and ignoring Tulsi Gabbard as they rig the system against her. But this is a far simpler issue in my mind. The same party that sees racism and sexism and ageism and everything else ism everywhere are the people practicing this. They want to demand that you not be above a certain age because Donald Trump is near that age. But Biden, Sanders, and Bloomberg are right there in that age bracket, and they said nothing about it. They want to demand you not be a white man, but when it's Biden, Bloomberg, and Sanders, they don't care. They want to demand that you vote for a woman because she is a woman, while also saying that anyone can choose to be a woman at any point and choose not to be the next day and to be the next day after that, but only if it's the woman they have ordained as the one you should choose. We saw it in 2018 with Stacey Abrams. The crux of her campaign, I am a black woman. That was it. She had the same liberal talking points. She's going to open the borders, and she's going to lower the voting age, and she's going to do this and do this and do this, that every other Democrat claims. She had no unique campaign, other than she's a black woman. When she lost, she claimed, of course, that she really won, but people cheated. Even though we had video from when Roy Moore was running, where people come in and crowed about, we brought people from all over the country to get our boy elected. I mean, for crying out loud, Illinois has admitted that they have registered people who are too young to vote because of other laws to supposedly make it easier to register. And with no voter ID required, they now have thousands upon thousands of ineligible voters who will be eligible in a couple of years who could walk in and vote because the voter registration rolls don't give an age. They don't care about fraud, even in their own party, unless they can use lies about fraud to demand you vote for them. They scream and yell that it was Hillary's turn. I can almost guarantee you that it will be a Biden-Clinton campaign in just a matter of a month or two, and that will mean Hillary will be running the show. But they don't care about that as long as they shoehorn their ordained woman onto the ticket. Tulsi is getting railroaded, and she's not holding back on calling that out, but very few people will give her the time. She had to go on Tucker Carlson, who is definitely not a Democrat, to get the message out there. And it's not going to be heard by the Democrats who would want to hear that they have a young woman. And I don't doubt that Congresswoman Gabbard is extremely intelligent. I don't think she's as liberal as many of the others in the field, but she is still far too liberal for my taste. But the people who need to hear it, the people voting in the Democratic primary, are not going to hear it, because she had to go to Fox News to find someone to let her tell that story. And when it comes down to it, and it is a Biden ticket for president, the Democrats will cheer that, well, at least our boy won. And it will never change. This identity politics push of, you can't disagree with me because I'm this demographic. You have to vote for me because I'm this demographic, needs to stop. And it needs to stop fast. I don't care if you are black, brown, white, red, or yellow, male, or female. If you have the qualifications for the job, then I believe you should get the job. I've told this story before, but I'm going to have to tell it again. Almost 20 years ago, I worked for a company here in Texas, and they had a very strict application process. Application had to be submitted online. Yes, it had your name, but that was hidden from the people who processed them. You were very strictly and directly told, do not list a gender or a race. You will not be considered for the job if you do. You will then be asked to submit electronically your resume, which should not include your name, race, or gender. It will be linked to an ID number. You will then be interviewed by an automated phone system, interviewed then, finally, round 3, by a person via phone, finally, face-to-face in a group. We had a young lady, African-American, who applied. When she submitted her resume, it had her name, her race, and her gender on it, including a photograph. She was told, I'm sorry, you are not being considered for this job because you violated the requirements for applying. She tried to sue, claiming racism. The judge flat out said, did you read where it clearly states, do not include your name, race, or gender? She tried to give some, well, they're just trying to keep me from applying because I'm black. No, ma'am. They're trying to ensure that they don't consider race or gender in the application process. By removing it, they look solely at your work history and qualifications. The young lady was not qualified. Very young lady. This would have probably been in her first 5 jobs. I don't know if she could have done the job or not. When the judge then cited the diversity statistics of race, gender, and age for the company, it proved she was wrong. She still tried to sue and tried to demand money or the job and lost. It's very similar to a young man who applied for the Four Seasons, another story I heard from someone, where they have a very long-standing policy. I'm talking 100 years plus policy. No tattoos allowed. The dress code is almost the same as the military. But I've talked long enough on this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Remember, as always, be civil. We're not here to scream and yell and hurl insults at each other. We're here to have a discussion and a debate. Also, please remember to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you're kept aware of all new content as it posts. Remember, we're doing the giveaway. 1 book at $500, 2 books at $1,000, 3 books at $1,500. The choices are 1984, Drifting World, or Fahrenheit 451. 500 winner will get 1 of them, 1,000 will get 2, and the 1,500 will get 1 of each. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.